You might be wondering why I'm holding this little red bucket. Well, this little red bucket represents a living trust. And generally, we want to put all of our assets into a living trust so that if we die or we become incapacitated, the person that we've chosen will take over the handle of the little red bucket and manage that bucket for our benefit without having to go through any kind of probate process, without having to get any permission from a court or anyone else. Now, one of the questions that I hear all the time is, should I put everything into my trust? And the short answer to the question is no. I'm attorney Mike Smith with Smith Barid LLC, and I'm one half of the estate planning guys. So today let's talk about 5 assets that you probably shouldn't put into your little red bucket. Now the first one is IRAs. IRAs are entitled to special tax treatment. They're accounts they're called individual retirement accounts, so it's right there in the name. If the individual no longer owns the retirement account, then it's not an individual retirement account, and it's not entitled to the same tax preferences that it gets when it's an individual retirement account. So there could be negative tax consequences to transferring an IRA into a trust. The IRA is entitled to tax deferred growth if it's a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. With a traditional IRA, when you take the money out of it, you pay taxes on it because you used pre-tax dollars to put into the IRA. With a Roth IRA, there's no tax when you take the money out of it because you were using post-tax dollars to put into the IRA. IRAs don't go in living trusts is the short answer, because it would cause negative tax implications. And that's going to be the theme with several of the things that we talk about. The second thing that you don't want to put into a revocable living trust is a qualified annuity. It has the same type of characteristics as an IRA and could cause extremely negative tax consequences if you put it into a living trust. There are non-qualified annuities also, but you're going to want to ask the annuity company or your financial advisor to run an analysis and see if there are any tax consequences to transferring that annuity into a living trust before you do so. So IRAs, annuities. The third asset that you don't want to put into a living trust is a health savings account or a medical savings account. And following along with the theme that we've been talking about, both of those types of accounts are entitled to special tax treatment. They're designed to allow you to save money and to invest that money in a tax deferred way, and then to withdraw from that account for paying qualified medical expenses. So just like with IRAs and annuities, qualified annuities, if you transfer them into a living trust, there are negative tax implications to that. So you don't want to transfer your HSA or your MSA into the trust. So now we've got 3 assets that we don't want to put into our living trust: IRAs, annuities, and HSAs or MSAs. The fourth one is not a tax problem at all, and that is an automobile. So generally, it's fairly easy in most states to transfer an automobile after someone dies without having to go through probate. And if you put an automobile into the trust, it just creates a lot of administrative headaches. So I did have a client some years ago who insisted on putting his car into the trust, and he came back to me some years later and said, man, I really wish I'd followed your advice on that, because now every year when I go to get my tag renewed at the tag office, I have to explain to the government bureaucrat there what a trust is and why I'm the trustee of the trust and how it all works, and it's just a real pain. So I wish I hadn't done that. The one exception to that would be if you have a collector car that's very valuable. We may want to transfer that into the trust so that we can make sure that the distribution of that is handled properly. So generally, automobiles don't go into living trust, may be an exception for investment type collector cars. So if you're interested in learning more about how we help families protect their legacies from probate, predators, and government intrusions, I wrote a free book titled The Ultimate Gift that lays it all out. If you'd like to pick up your free copy of The Ultimate Gift, simply click the link below, give us your address and a credit card for shipping and handling fees, and we'll ship it out to you free of charge. Read The Ultimate Gift so you can learn how to protect your family. The fifth type of asset that you don't really want to put into a living trust is just small bank accounts. So this is what I would call your going to the grocery store account, your walking around money, if you will. The reason that we don't generally put those into a trust is that it creates some administrative problems. Again, you may have to open a new bank account to put it into the trust. And that's worth it if it's a big savings account or money market account kind of thing, but it's not necessarily worth it with your small checking account that you use to pay your daily bills with. So what we recommend for folks who have, small bank accounts like that is that they set those up with pay on death beneficiaries. And you can name the trust as the pay on death beneficiary, which will allow the trust to control the distribution of that account, or you could just name direct beneficiaries with that. You don't want to do that with a large account. I would say the cutoff for that is probably about $5,000 to $10,000. When you get beyond that, you could be bumping up against some gift tax implications and that sort of thing. So, bigger accounts you want to put into the living trust for sure, but small bank accounts, it's probably not worth it from an administrative point of view to put those into the living trust. So, those are 5 assets that you don't want to put in your living trust. If we can help you set up a living trust, just click the link below to schedule a free discovery call with somebody on our team. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video.